respiratory system. So before I proceed with the video, I want you all to observe this diagram very carefully. The human nervous respiratory system consists of nasal cavity, nostrils, bony palate, pharynx, larynx, trachea. Then on the trachea you have rings of cartilage, lungs, pleura, and diaphragm, alveoli, bronchiole, bronchus. Now we'll discuss each part in detail. So the first part of human respiratory system is nostrils. So nostrils are two which are present at the outer covering of the nose. We know that, and the purpose of those nostrils it usually allows the air to enter the body. That is, from here the air is entering. Now when the air enters, then it is going through the nasal cavity. So from the nostrils, the air is going to the nasal cavity. What is the function of this nasal cavity? The nasal cavity filters the air which is being taken by the nostrils. As we know, the air which we breathe may not be pure, and it consists of many gases, and some germs also might be present. So this cavity, nasal cavity, it filters the air, and inside this nasal cavity, the surface of the air is moist. So because of that moist surface, and as the nasal cavity consists of tiny hairs, those hairs and that moist surface, what do they do is they remove any of the tiny particles from the nostrils, and then they filter the clean air inside. So that is how the air is taken inside the nose by the nasal cavity. Now, after this, you have pharynx. So what is pharynx? Pharynx is present here. So pharynx is present here before the mouth. Okay. So in the pharynx, you have this pharynx also consists of warm and moist surface. And this warm and moistening, this goes on in the common passage of digestive and respiratory system. Now this system which we are considering is of respiratory system only. But beside this system, we also have digestive system. Respiratory system deals with the exchange of gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide, that is the air we breathe in and the air we breathe out. And digestive system deals with taking in our food and how the food is broken down into smaller particles and transported to various parts for energy. So this pharynx, it is again divided into, if you see, this will be the pharynx. Now this pharynx has epiglottis. Okay, so this epiglottis, it is acting as a gate to both trachea is also called as windpipe, and esophagus. Sorry, here the spelling of esophagus is wrong. It should be Oesophagus. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so this epiglottis, it is acting as a gate-like structure, and it leads to two pipes. One is your food pipe or esophagus, and the other one is trachea or windpipe. So what is the function of this epiglottis is that whenever we swallow food, it partly closes the gate which is they present in the which is leading to the trachea. So what happens is the food goes only into the esophagus. It does not go in the windpipe. And when we breathe in, it partly opens from the for the trachea so that the air goes in the trachea. So we can say, subhanallah, epiglottis is acting as a flap-like structure, which is a gate which is taking which divides the two. That is, if you are breathing in air, it takes air through the trachea or the windpipe, and if you are swallowing food, it will take through the food pipe. So it will prevent air or food from going inside, from changing the ways of both. Now the next part is larynx. So larynx is present before the, in the trachea, the larynx is present as the first part. Okay. So this trachea or the windpipe, what it does is it consists of larynx. Now this larynx is also called as voice box. That is, when the air passes out of the lungs and over the vocal cords. Vocal cords are present, as I said, this is the larynx, right? It causes them to vibrate. So these vocal cords, when they vibrate, as a result of that, the speech is produced. So people who are dumb, right? Those who don't know how to talk, the vocal cords are absent for them, okay? Or there may be a defect in the larynx. So because of larynx, we are able to talk, and because of the air passing also, our body is designed in such a way that those vibrate and the air goes inside it. Now let us move to the next part, that is trachea. Okay, now this trachea, it consists of windpipe, and that through the windpipe, it is going through the lungs. Okay, so this is your windpipe. Now this windpipe, if you observe, there are circles on it. Those circles are called as rings of cartilage. So what is the purpose of these rings of cartilage? These rings of cartilage, they ensure that there is no like the windpipe does not get damaged, okay, and the airflow is normal. Now then you have bronchus. So what is bronchus? If you observe this trachea, it is divided into two parts. These two parts together are called as bronchus. Now these bronchus will lead to many branches. Here if you see light brown color, this is one branch, this is one branch, this is another branch. Here also one branch, one branch, one branch, one branch, right? This is just for your visualization. There will be many bronchioles and many alveoli in our lungs, okay? So this bronchus is leading to bronchioles, okay? And these bronchioles are further divided into many air sacs, and those air sacs, as you see these red color and purple color, I have drawn this color identification for you so that you will be able to identify and differentiate. So these clusters of sacs are nothing but alveolus. So these branches are bronchioles, and then those branches are divided into these air sacs called as alveolus. So alveolus are millions in our lungs, okay, and then these two are our lungs, okay. So exact symmetry, whatever is this here, the exact symmetry will be in this lung only. There's a bit difference in the size between the lungs, because as heart is present on the left side of the lung, okay, the left lung will differ a bit in size when compared to your right lung. And then beneath the lungs we have this diaphragm, okay. So as we can see, now this alveolus here inside the lungs will have blood also, and we know blood travels through the whole body. So inside the blood we have blood capillaries, okay. So this blood, what it does is, as I said you, I'll explain the procedure once again. The air is entering from the nostrils. From the nostrils it is going to nasal cavity. From the nasal cavity, when it travels to the larynx, if we want to talk, our vocal cords are activated and will talk. And then what happens is, for the air travels through the windpipe, it goes to the bronchus, then it goes to the bronchioles, then it goes to the alveolus, and from the alveolus it travels to the blood. And from the blood, whatever we take inside is nothing but which gas? We take in oxygen. And so this oxygen, which is mixed with the blood, it will travel to various parts of the body, like heart, where heart is pumped, or it can go to kidneys and many other organs, okay. So that is pure oxygen is going, which we are taking in inside. The same procedure will be repeated when we want to expel carbon dioxide outside our body. That is, from this blood, it is traveling to the alveolus, from the alveolus to the bronchiole, from the bronchiole to bronchi, then from the bronchiole to bronchus. Okay, this singular is called as bronchi, and these two are called as bronchus. So from the bronchi to windpipe, then windpipe to larynx. Okay, the larynx to pharynx, and then from pharynx to nasal cavity, and from nasal cavity to nostrils. It is taken out. Carbon dioxide is taken out like that. Now, so if I want to revise it, from nostrils to nasal cavity to pharynx, pharynx to larynx, larynx to trachea, trachea to bronchus, bronchus to bronchioles, bronchioles to alveoli, alveoli to blood. And if you want to, so this is the pathway of air. Okay, it is important. Okay. Now in this, if you want to know the what is the function of this diaphragm, is that this diaphragm and the chest walls, they are responsible for contracting the body. Like when we take in air, this diaphragm will move upward, and this diaphragm helps in inhalation and exhalation of air. That is because of this movement of this diaphragm, it is placing the lungs at its proper place. This diaphragm helps the lungs to be at its proper place. Okay. Now whenever we breathe in air, what happens is that this diaphragm will, what will happen to this diaphragm? If you breathe out air, this diaphragm will move up, okay, and air is expelled out. And when you breathe inside, the diaphragm will relax, so the air is coming inside. So that is the role of diaphragm in the breathing. Hope you have understood the human respiratory system. If you have any doubts, then you can comment below. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you are new to my channel. Yes, I forgot to say about what is pleura. Pleura is, it is a thin membrane which covers both the lungs. So our lungs are designed in such a way that the outer covering of the lungs is pleura. Okay. So then apart from pleura, another outer covering will be there, that is chest wall. Okay. So those chest wall is not present in the chest wall is not present in this diagram. Okay. The chest wall is present as a further outer covering to this pleura. So lungs, to the outside the lungs, pleura is the thin covering pleura is there, and then outside pleura we have chest wall. So so that our body is protected from everything.